This is my Honda CB400 cafe racer project. I'm currently building new exhaust for it. In my previous videos I showed how I built the downpipes and the collector. It's not on right now for a reason. This video will not be a build video. I more or less built all the parts, so it's more like a show and tell what I've already done. And let's see how it will end up. I have actually got the muffler now. It was lost in the mail, so the sender shipped me a new one using FedEx, so suddenly it was here. Shout out for that, link in the description on what this is. Let's open the box and check inside. Here it is. It looks like this. Looks quite nice. I'm satisfied. And perhaps the most enjoyable part is the price. It costs only $55 plus $5 in shipping. And it's supposed to be stainless steel, so I think that is a bargain. So let's hope it holds up. Of course, need to test it for a while to know for sure. But yeah, seems to be nice. And the important part for me was the length, that it was not too long. I think on a cafe racer it shouldn't be too bulky of exhaust. This is 40 centimeters, could have been 35, even 30 maybe centimeters in length, but I need some dampening effect as well. I don't want it to be too loud. So 40 will do. And the most important part is the 51 millimeters on the inlet side. Because the exhaust I'm building, I'm using the one that was on the bike as a template for the dimensions. I'm just rerouting how the pipes are going. And the aftermarket one that was on the bike, Motard 2-to-1, it's supposed to be a very good exhaust, so I'm like trying to replicate it, except for the design, but like the sizing should be the same. So then hopefully it will work out nicely. So what I have done is I have already prepared a bracket for it. And I want to have this here. And the bracket goes then on the mount where the passenger foot pegs are. You might see that the bracket is slightly bent, and it's a reason for that because the exhaust is actually not in parallel with the bike. It's tilted slightly inwards at the front because I want the exhaust pipes to go in here and under the center of the engine. So I have tilted it slightly. So it goes on like this. And yeah, the foot pegs was quite flimsy and worn. So I ordered some new ones, but they didn't really fit. And yeah, what I did was did some cleanup. I put on a O-ring here to make the pressure a bit tighter. And I changed this bolt. It was a 6 millimeter bolt here. I drilled out the holes to 7 millimeters and I created a new bolt across here. So it was a bit more tight and of course cleaned away the rust. I need to rust protect this, of course, paint them black. But now this should go nicely in here. And this gives me the flexibility to tilt this to get the correct position. And then I will just using an ordinary 8 millimeter bolt here, put this on the exhaust, and then I have the flexibility to adjust or the offset for the exhaust from the frame. Here you can see the exhaust is pointing a bit outwards from the bike, but it's not too bad. And then came the challenging part of creating the pipe that goes to the muffler, under the engine and to the collector that is centered. So it has to go in a bend and go out here. And as you can see, there is a lot of stuff here to hold the brake pedal that is in the way, so I need to remove this. I don't want to use this brake pedal anyway. It's bulky and not very pretty. and I want to lower the foot pegs, put it somewhere here, because yeah, it's a bit cramped to sit on this bike. I think it will help moving the foot pegs a bit backwards and down. So I will take away this and I will have to build my own stuff here. That will be later. But let's start by removing this. Now it's plenty of room to go in between here and under the engine. And I have to admit, that was not an easy task. To create a pipe that fits exactly in between two existing pipes, making the bends correct. I have a tight space. I wanted the angles to look nice, so it was not too strange looking from the profile, going up and down. So yeah, back and forth, starting with one pipe, then the bend, trying to make all of this line up. Ooh, it was trial and errors over and over again. But I finally ended up with this. As you can see, I did some wrong measurements during the process and I have to weld in a short piece here. So you can see extra unnecessary weld there. And the welding gods were also not on my side. I couldn't get these welds any pretty, so I tried to weld them multiple times and grind the welds down as good as I can, but this isn't really visible. Maybe I will have a heat wrap over here anyway. So, okay, this was at least the end result. I have some footage of the process. You can see me lining up the parts and tack welding them on the bike. And then do the final weld and some grinding. And yeah, here is the end result. So let's try to fit it on the bike. I will take off the muffler again because it's hard to put this in between here now. So off with the muffler again and then put everything together. What do you think? Does it look decent? I have a few tasks left. I have to make some brackets here and put on some springs to hold this together. And also I would change this bolt that holds the muffler, make a better solution there. But that's minor. So the main job is done, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. Would love to hear if you have any thoughts, suggestions. I will probably paint this in heat-resistant zinc and then black. Plan to have a heat shrink all around it. But also these welds, kind of like Mad Max, yeah, rough style. So maybe it would look okay just to paint them. I will at least paint first and then see if I will put on a heat wrap on them. And it's at least nice to have come this far with the build. The next will be to make the new foot pegs and the new brake pedal. Yeah, and it would be nice to hear the sound of the exhaust. I have no idea how it sounds, so I will have to have engine service, change oil, look at the carbs, as the bike hasn't been started in 2 years. And also the electrics need to be wired up again. So yeah, maybe next time we can try to start it. Love to see you then. Bye bye.